Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Markets to Watch from Smack the Markets for week commencing the 12th of November. Now this week has already started with quite a bit of excitement from the US dollar, with the dollar market strengthening fairly significantly overnight, and that's putting pressure on a lot of dollar related pairs. It's also quite a big week this week for the Great British Pound. So with MPs and the government sort of debating and discussing the final sort of Brexit plan, there's likely to be quite a bit of nervousness in Great British Pound markets as well. So let's come and take a look at some of the markets here that we're focusing on in the trading room. So if we come and have a look at euro dollar to start with, this is a US dollar play. And if we come and have a look at this on the weekly, we can see that, well, broadly speaking, the market's in a nice downtrend. It's very technical. It bounces and trades between these levels. And most recently, the market's broken through this key 113 level. So you can see how significant that is over the past sort of few years. The next sort of level that we have here is sort of down to around sort of like 112. And then below that, well, there's not a lot for quite a long way. Now, if we come and take a look at this on the daily chart, you can see that here on the daily chart, the market's again in a strong downtrend. It's quite overstretched at the moment, and it's sort of sliced through this sort of 113 area without having so much as a sort of a pullback to it. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for short opportunities underneath 113, but I'd rather see a bit of a pullback to possibly retest that 113 level. If we come down the time frames a little bit more and start to mark in 113, you can see that the market is quite stretched at the moment. We're getting a bit of a retracement at the moment, and again a retracement back into this 113 area kind of takes out all of that overextension, brings it back into that sort of value area with the moving averages by the time it gets there, and it could be a nice area to look for new sort of short opportunities. Now the analysis sort of stacks up even if we start to come down the time frames as well and start to look at this on fib studies on lower time frames. You can see our sort of 113 level clusters with pivot points. It also clusters with the 50% retracement of the recent leg of this move as well. So this brings it back into the hourly moving average range. So it's quite a nice area to be looking for weakness back into this market if the market gets back up into this area. Now, let's come and take a look at the US indices now. If we take a look at our favorite one here, the Dow Jones Future. Now, this market has been extremely strong over the past week. It's continued its strength, and it's actually sort of moved further than we expected. So it's now reached a high here of 26,200, and we've had a retracement off there. From the higher time frame perspective, looking at the monthly, the weekly, this still looks strong. It still looks sort of very neat. If we come take a look at this on the daily a little bit more detail, we can see that the market's broken through sort of the 2550 area, which was a significant structure point on this market, and it's also broken through 2550 and 2600. Now, the market's now looking rather overstretched. It's looking rather overextended. And even in the context of trends here, the fact that the market's now reached a significant level here of resistance, it's not surprising that we're getting a bit of a retracement here. So we've got these structure points here that the market's reacted to many times before. I've got 26,200, 25,800, let's call it, and 25 sort of 50 down here as well. I think looking at the market at the moment, the market's retracing, so I'm looking for it to retrace back to 25,800. If we can find support here, then this uptrend could continue. We could get a move back up to 26,200. Above 26,200, then I'm looking for this market to be making new highs. So in the interim, I'm looking at decision points, looking at these levels as decision points. And once these markets make a decision here as to where it's going to go, whether it's going to drop down to the next level or it's going to bounce and move up to the higher level, I'll be looking for intraday trading opportunities to trade in between those price points. Even if we come down and take a look at the 4-hour chart, you can see that the market's sort of retracing back into this sort of 25,800 area here on the 4-hour at the moment. So that's my plan here for the mini Dow. I'm not looking at sort of swing positions at this moment on this market. I'm more looking at intraday plays. Now, if we come and have a look at gold and precious metals. Now, at the moment, with the strength in the US dollar, it's having a sort of a negative impact here on precious metals, and these metals are sort of rolling over and starting to form new short trends, as we can see. So at the moment here, if we take a look at this on the daily chart, we can see that the market has rejected off this 1240 level a number of times. It's failed to be able to close above 1240. It's now sort of rolled over and it's broken through this sort of area here. I've got it marked in around 112.11 here, but it's around 112.11, 112.10 here. There's significant support and resistance on the gold market. But the fact that the market's now underneath here, price is underneath, is what's of interest to me, because below here doesn't look to be an awful lot in the way for a decent move to the short side. Now we can see this in a little bit more detail here when we come down to the 4-hour time frame. We've got much better structured short trends here on gold, with the moving averages in the right order. And even if we start to come down to lower time frames again, we can start to see here that we've got very well structured short trends on the lower time frames. This is the hourly chart. We've got nice moving average geometry, pullbacks into the moving averages, roll it, and continuation of those trends. So there's a few markets here that I'm keeping a close eye on in the trading room. I certainly hope it helps, and I look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.